It's trying. There we go. Yay. Hey, welcome everybody once again to Astronomy Daily Live for the 2nd of March 2019. It is 2 hours UTC, and it's time once again to gather together this ever-growing group of friends here, and I was actually just telling Bobby in the pre-show how you know I truly feel blessed to have in my midst such an amazing group of people as you are, and I think that's just absolutely amazing, and most people sort of think that people are kind of boring and not too interesting and all that, and I disagree. Most of the people that I know are really interesting. They're just not going to talk about a lot of the details of their lives and stuff, but you get little tidbits from time to time, and it's like wow, that's really incredible. So yeah, I really feel lucky and blessed to be here with you all, and coming together each day or every week or every month or whatever you like, right? And to sit down, grab our favorite consumable of choice, and sit around on this virtual porch and just think and talk all things astronomy and space and all of that. So yeah, well, welcome everybody. So I see Jim is back in the chat. Hey there, Jim. Johnny is in the chat as well. Cool, very cool. So, and I also noticed that on the panel, once again, live and in person, is Bobby. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what is up? I hate to turn off a baseball game for this, but that's okay. I'm here.
You would give up a baseball game for this? That just absolutely blows my mind. But cool. And that's another thing that I really like, though, right? Is choice, maximizing choice, right? So you can choose, right? And in lots of cases, you don't even have to choose, right? You can have the baseball game over on the side, and you can have this here and this here and this there. So yeah, awesome, very awesome. And also we've got back on the panel Tom. Hey
Cosmic. Hey everybody, hope y'all are doing well tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And Bobby, you're watching preseason baseball? Is that what you're saying?
It's college baseball.
College? Oh, okay.
And it's on radio.
College baseball. Yeah, so I was also telling Bobby in the pre-show that I'm already feeling tired, because I'm going to stay up and watch this SpaceX launch that is going to be. I think it's going to be the planned launch is at 7:29 UTC, if I got my numbers right. And so you'll have to do the conversion there for your time zone, but for me, that's 12:29 a.m. So I'm just going to probably stay up, and it is most definitely going to be
I wonder what's the weather there in Cape Canaveral, or where they're going to be launching at.
I think there's a really, really good chance that everything's going to be just fine. I don't know, Tom, if you have any details about that or anything, but
I haven't checked on it since this morning. I think that was looking clear there. I haven't checked since then, though.
Okay, yeah, I saw a tweet. I think, I don't know if it was from SpaceX or who it was from, just a little while ago, that there's a 80% chance that the weather's going to be okay. So that I mean, you might as well say it's going to be fine. So yeah, I think that is going to be great. So yeah, this is the
and
this
please
is
not another scrub December right there, like it was in December.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that that's going to happen this time. I think as far as the weather goes, I think everything's gonna go okay. And you know, I mean, I kind of joke about this, right? But that particular launch time is really inconvenient, isn't it? I mean, it's sort of you know, it's just a little you know, it's like, you know, why can't they do this at a more reasonable time, right? Well, you know, there's a simple explanation, right? They are launching this thing to the space station, right? And so the space station has to be, you know, right at the right place for them to launch, right? And meet up with it, right? So it basically has to do an overpass, and then they launch after it, right? I think that's generally how that works. And it just so happens, you know, that the timing of this is such that you know, that at least is the first opportunity, right? I mean, if they're not able to do it,
Astronomy or Jim, they're on space time.
they are on space time, exactly. So and
But
what that means,
called UTC.
yeah. Well, no, I mean, what that means is that you go when you have to go, and that's it. And it doesn't really matter what time it is. You know, the time is arbitrary. It's like, you know, to do what they're going to do, right? Launch this thing, meet up with the space station. They have to have everything timed just about right. And I think, you know, if they have to scrub like today, they'll definitely be able to do probably like a 24-hour-ish cycle, but it's not going to be exactly the same time, right? You know, because the orbit of the space station changes, right? So yeah, you know, they'll have to recalculate a different time, and you know, it'll be around 24 hours, but I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, as far as the weather goes. So.
All right, so we have to welcome Tim Robinson, but he's going to have to might have to reboot his computer, and we'd like to welcome Ron from Earth Radio.
Hey there, Earth Radio. Nice to see you again. And Tim, yeah, I'm not sure if Tim himself needs a reboot or if his computer does. He's not very clear there. I could certainly use a reboot much more often. But so far, you know, I haven't.
Why don't you take like 5-hour energy?
Well, I haven't found the button yet. I've been trying, but I can't find the button. I lost the button. So, oh well, yeah. I mean, it'd be really, really nice, you know, if we did have, you know, some kind of reset button, but we
Or
don't.
a restart button.
We don't. Or yeah, I don't know about the restart though. I don't know. When I was a kid, the only thing that I really wanted to be was an adult, right? I just sort of was like, okay, I have to be a kid, but I don't want to be. So yeah, I don't know if I want to necessarily do that again. It's a great childhood, no problem at all, right? It's just I just knew that it was being an adult was the thing to be, right? So yeah, well, cool. Yeah, and so SpaceX is launching their crewed capsule. That's CREWED, crewed, as opposed to CRUDE, which yeah, it's I would say in that sense it's the exact opposite of a crewed capsule. It's like a luxury liner, right? It looks pretty nice in there, pretty comfy, spacious. Hopefully everything that the crew is going to need, to deal with things, because really, right? I mean, if all goes well, right, the crew really are just passengers, right? They're not necessarily going to have to do much of anything. Now, I'm not going to take away from
Phoenix Vixen or Venus and Mars in the chat, and I think we got an intruder.
We have an intruder. Yes, we do. A UK intruder who just reset himself. So how does it feel, Tim, to be reset? Oh, he can't hear us yet. All right.
I don't have my phone set up.
Tim is working on things.
Yeah, but Venus and Mars is usually known as Venus Vixen on Instagram.
Yeah. Nice to see you again, Venus and Mars. Thanks for coming in. Always great to have you here, of course. So very cool. Yeah. So hopefully they have the kinds of controls inside of the capsule. I guess they're calling it a capsule.
Now, would there be a crew in that spacecraft?
This first launch, there is not going to be a human crew. There is a well, for lack of a better term, there's a dummy in there that they've named Ripley, right? And I think that's a homage to Ripley from the movie Alien, which actually just celebrated its 40th anniversary, I guess, the other day. So I think that's great. And of course, the dummy is
about the 40 years of Alien.
Alien, yeah. I think.
I never saw the third one yet. I wish I can see the third one. I've seen the Alien and the Aliens, but I didn't see Alien 3.
Yeah, I think I stopped after the second one as well. So those were good enough, and yeah. So anyway, this dummy
the lady that played that I forgot her name.
Well, the characters.
Like I said, I forgot her name, but she was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver, yes, and she played the
yeah.
she played, the character Ripley. So I think that. I mean, my guess is that that's why this mannequin / dummy is named Ripley in sort of honor of that. But of course
And that little Tesla thing that's probably still in space is just called Starman, right?
Starman, yes, absolutely. So this.
I love that meme that I found one time. There was like somebody on Mars needed like a ride and stuff, and there was a Starman that said, "Hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes."
Cool, nice. Well, I mean, that rocket body is still out there, and it's actually due to make a pretty close approach to the Earth. Oh, I don't know when. I mean, it's got a pretty eccentric orbit around the sun, but it sort of brings itself around to the Earth from time to time, and I think it's supposed to make a pretty close approach. Like, don't quote me on this, but I'm thinking like 2032. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure. So
yeah,
anyway,
think if we're still around there, we're gonna have like a traffic jam because Starman just hit the Earth.
Ha ha ha. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to hit it. I think it's just going to be a near approach. So Tim, can you hear us yet, or are you still working on audio? Can't hear you, Tim. Can't hear you. All right, he's working on it. Waiting for a mic test. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to plug up the mic.
That's all.
In the meantime,
yeah,
for tonight's or tomorrow morning's launch, whatever time it may be for you, there's a couple of Twitch streamers that are going to be showing it and have their chat open for people to talk about that stuff. Cosmo Quest X is going to be doing it, and I think EJ SA is going to be on there too. I could put those links in chat if you want. If not, I won't worry about it.
Please do. Sure. And I know the everyday astronaut is also live streaming too. So yeah, pick your favorite. Doesn't really matter which one. So they're all going to be epic. So yeah. Choose your favorite. Stick to it, and it'll be great. It'll be great. How you doing, Tim? You making it?
Hopefully now I've pressed the power button.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about the power button for the bloody mic.
You gotta push those buttons, and you gotta push them the right way.
Too right. Anyway, so hello everybody. Hope you're all well.
Hey, everything's good. Everything's good. You sound good.
Thank you.
Hope everything's well over there.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tom. Hope you're well, mate.
Doing fine, thank you.
Yeah.
You too.
I was wondering if you're going to be like super busy in the morning or watch that launch.
I don't know if Tim is even aware that there's a launch. There's a SpaceX launch happening your time at 7:29 a.m.
Oh,
I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
I wasn't, but I'll still be throwing Z's out at that time.
There you go. Yeah. Well, this is a pretty interesting launch. This will be the first uncrewed vehicle launch. So this is sort of the test flight of SpaceX's crewed vehicle, CREWED. And I think their next launch, if this is a success.
What happened to that one that had to land on the water? The first stage had to land on the water and stuff.
If you're talking about the Falcon Heavy, the middle stage sort of missed the boat, as they say. Yeah, I think yeah, I think they did come up with an explanation for why it's sort of missed. I don't remember exactly. I don't know if somebody on the panel here can remember or not. I think maybe it just ran out of fuel or it didn't have enough.
The one that they had to put in the ocean?
Maybe I'm not quite
sure. That one, they broke a strut or something like that, and so they lost control.
Oh yeah. So Bobby, are you talking about the one that they actually had to put in the drink, or are you talking about the central?
I'm talking about the one they had to put in the ocean.
Okay, yeah, that one. I think they lost control of their
those grid. Those, what are they called? Grid panels or something like that?
Grid fins.
That's it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think they lost the hydraulics on that, and of course, they lost control. So they just had to splash it down. But hey, before we go too much further, I noticed that Patrick Manny is on the panel as well. So I just wanted to say howdy. Hope everything's going well. If you can unmute yourself, you can get in on this too. Hope everything's well. Looks like
he's having problems as well too.
Looks like he's working on it.
Microsoft, too much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably got some grandkids and stuff.
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, so it's going to be a pretty exciting night. As I said, I'm just going to stay up and watch it. It's going to be happening in about a little over 6 hours. Is that right? 6 hours, maybe 5 hours from now. So that's not too bad. I've always got lots to do as long as I can stay awake. But I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem.
Sad. Like, I don't think you're okay with the camera.
Yeah, the camera's good. Yeah, I got you. Ain't technology great?
When it works.
When it works. Absolutely.
And I think Justin T also joined in as well in the chat.
Oh yeah, hey there, Justin T. Nice to see you again in the chat as well. So,
and Johnny?
Tim, So Tim, I like your background there. I like the purple. That's nice.
Yeah, we've been changing the bulb to one of those LED ones with different colours because the wife gets migraines.
Oh, very cool.
So we're trying to find a colour that doesn't give her a migraine and gives me a peaceful life.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's of prime importance.
Peaceful life.
Importance. Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty exciting.
Okay, so welcome to the room. Yellow. So Cosmo Quest asks, will not start until about a few minutes before lunch, but is actually hosting EJSA's pre-lunch now.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So the festivities are beginning early, which I'm not surprised at all. The Everyday Astronaut is actually going to be 5 miles from the launch pad, so that's about as close as you can get, and so he's going to have a pretty extraordinary view, and that's sort of the view that I am going to probably want. So SpaceX most likely will also be
and we like
putting
to
out some good
Chuck
stuff.
in the chat.
Hey there, Chuck. Nice to see you again in the chat. I got the kitty here coming up on the lap. Hello there, dear. What you looking at, huh? She's going to settle in here.
Yeah, you can definitely see the EJSA is on the air right now.
Yeah, good. Excellent, excellent. Well, it is definitely...
And I think he's doing a movie marathon, but I think he's also going to be showing something. I think he's showing that right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, you got to keep yourself... You definitely got to keep yourself awake if you're going to stay up and watch this very, very inconveniently timed launch. Gotta say. So, but yeah, it
Hey,
is
there's
definitely...
always VOD, baby.
What's that, Bobby?
There's always the VOD.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is definitely exciting times, and if this launch is successful, right? Meaning one, that they get off the launch pad okay, and they're actually able, to meet up with the space station and dock to it, and if they get good data, right, that says everything works and it all looks good, then I'm pretty sure that the next launch is actually going to be with actual people on it, and I mean, at that point, they've got to be pretty darn sure, right? That things are going to work out, and there aren't going to be any unforeseen problems, at least, or no, I mean, I should say surprises, right? At that point, there shouldn't really be any surprises, right? There might be a lot of unforeseen things, but so yeah, that should be a nice launch. It's a nighttime launch, so those are kind of nice. Anyway, the view is different. You can probably actually see it from the ground a little bit better, because it's this big bright spot moving away. So yeah, that'll be very, very cool, and that will give us humanity more choice in terms of getting into space, right? I mean, right now we're sort of limited to Soyuz, which has worked really, really, really well, and has been great, right? But if we can get one or two or three more of these kinds of things going, then we've got a better chance of getting more of us up there, and that's probably a good thing. So that's probably a good thing. So all right, well, cheers to that. All right, excellent. Yeah. All right, Patrick. Well, put the hammer to it and see what you can do. So, now's a good opportunity, right? To sort of work out all those bugs and everything. So yeah, just you have to vary the size of the hammer sometimes, and just give it a good whack. Sometimes that helps. So all right, well, cool, excellent. And so it was clear here yesterday, and so I was able to get some good data collection done. I looked at the area, I guess, of Messier 46, which is a nice rich cluster of stars down just east of Sirius, and it's got a nice selection of stars, and it has a bonus planetary nebula in it as well. And I don't know if the planetary nebula is behind it or in front of it. I've actually sort of heard both. So I'm not exactly sure. And you know, one of the hardest things, or one of the hardest measurements to make when it comes to astronomy is measuring distances. That's like, I mean, that is the hardest thing, and of course, it turns out to be sort of the most important thing, right? So I mean, if you're able to nail down your distance, then all kinds of other things just sort of fall out, right? And it's like, okay, I know this, 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 right? But if your distance is wrong, then everything else is wrong too. and the hardest thing to measure really is distance. We can, you know, and there are various ways of doing this, right? But you know, once you get relatively far out, you know, maybe 100 or 1,000 light years away, that's about as far as we can accurately measure things, right? But that's an incredibly small distance, right? You know, when you're talking about a galaxy that's 100,000 light years across, right? Much less a universe that might be, I don't know, you know, hundreds of billions of light years across. Who knows, right? Nobody exactly knows. So yeah, I don't know why. Oh yeah, in terms of distance, right? We don't really know with this planetary nebula whether it's sort of in front of the cluster or behind it. There's probably a pretty good guess, but yeah, I've sort of heard both. So so yeah, don't know. Don't know exactly, but looking at the data that I got last night, looks pretty good. Still got to run it through the ringer and all that, but so far I think everything looks pretty good. You know, I'm not my thing isn't really making, you know, the pretty pictures, right? My thing is being able to make accurate measurements of both the brightness and positions of, you know, like in this case, you know, the positions and brightnesses of these stars, so that's sort of where I am with that at the moment. Is just about ready.
This picture serves me nice. This has got to be, if you're on EJSA right now on Twitch, that's got to be that Crew Falcon Heavy rocket that they're looking at right now.
Cool, awesome. Yeah. So just
right
a matter
now, I'm just on work mode and stuff.
Cool. Excellent. All right. Well, I think I guess what we should probably do is I want to start. Oh, you know what? Let's see. There's so many directions that are possible. You know, this is the beginning of the month, and so I like to at the beginning of every month, I do like to go over to cloudynights.com and sort of see what's going to be happening over the next month. I can say though, just as a little alert, that the SOHO spacecraft had, I think just yesterday, detected an incoming comet plummeting towards the sun. So you know, it's really, really small. It's really, really faint, but you know, it's pretty rapidly moving towards the sun, and will probably most certainly brighten to a certain extent. So if you're so inclined, we'll take a look for that. You can go over to the SOHO website. I think if you do a Google search for SOHO, that's SSOHO, and then just say sun, right? You'll get to that website, and you'll be able to see that sequence. These are objects.
Seriously nice, interesting cockpit that EGSA is showing right now.
Yeah, what do you think of that? You like that?
Yeah, that's pretty darn cool.
Pretty luxurious, huh?
Yeah, that's. I hope it comes with heated seats. Sometimes they get hot.
Just not too hot.
Reminds you of Men in Black 2.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that mission's going to go really, really well. So yeah, they are. You got some pretty excited people, I think, right at this moment, and it'll even be more exciting when there are actual, you know, people in there too. That'll be an exciting time. But again, I sort of anticipate it to be almost a non-event, right? It's just sort of.
Oh yeah, Chuck, that was Planet 9 that crashed into the sun.
Yeah, actually, those kinds of objects smash into the sun pretty regularly. I think they've counted.
To kill the sun.
What's that, Bobby?
Thank God it didn't kill the sun yet. We don't even have evacuation ways. It means yet.
Not yet. We got to work on those wormholes and stuff. So, but yeah, you know, these objects come into the vicinity of the sun pretty often. I think they've actually counted more than 3,000 of them since SOHO became operational, and they were sort of a surprise, right? I don't think anybody really expected them to be there at all, right?
And if I'm not mistaken, I think we just lost Patrick.
I think so. I think he might have bopped out. He's having some hardware problems. So well, you know, if he comes back in.
Speaking of it, when we have like him around as well, and the hangouts on me pretty much lagged heck of a lot and stuff. But when Patrick gone, you're all right.
Okay, cool. Excelente. So yeah, definitely check out SOHO's website. I'm sort of, you know, let's go look. Let's go look. I cannot resist. And
I just updated my Google Chrome browser as well.
Oh, good. Hopefully you'll get some slightly better performance. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and we'll go over to the SOHO website here and check these guys out. So here's the main site. I'll put that over on the chat so you all can check that out. Does it automatically stream to YouTube too? Never tried Hangout streaming. Tim, as far as I know, yes. I think those two things are sort of together. So yeah, I believe so. I think the answer is yes, but don't quote me too hard on that. But yeah, at least that's been my experience. Is that you know, I've started every single Google Hangout exactly the same way, and it's always appeared just on YouTube. And it gets recorded and archived, and you know, the whole thing. So, all right. Anyway, here's the SOHO main site, and what we can do is we can go to the data section, and if we go to the sun now, and I know this is kind of hard to see, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So I went to the sun now, right down here. And these are different views of the sun. These are looking at the sun at different wavelengths of light, and you can sort of see the wavelengths here. So these are in nanometers: 171 nanometers, 195, 284, 304. So that's all in the far ultraviolet. And you can sort of see, it's kind of hard to tell here, and maybe they've messed with the sizes a little bit, but you might be able to tell that the sizes are slightly different, right? And it just sort of depends on what you're looking at, what material.
I wonder if those EITs, I think we're going to have a potentiality of a sunspot.
Well, it sort of looks like there's an active region that is coming around, right? From our point of view, the sun is rotating from the left to the right, and you know, they color code these. Now, this isn't the actual color, right? This is more like a color code, right? So yeah, it you know, at 195 nanometers, the sun does not look green, right? It just doesn't. We're not able to see anything at 195 nanometers. They've just colored it that way, so it's easily recognizable, right? So you can look at this and say, ah, that's 195, right? But yeah, it sort of looks like there's a active region that is coming in. So anyway, here's those. Here's the sort of the white light.
I'm not sure
sun.
about them. When you check the chat and stuff, but can you hear me pretty darn well, or I can always like disengage and come back when I switch it to the 2.4. I think it would be better.
You're on my end, Bobby. You're breaking up a little bit. So I mean, if you want to check that, feel free. I'm
going to be right back.
Okay. All right. It's not really bad, but yeah, fix it if you need to, for sure. We will be here waiting for you. Anyway, these last two views are from these instruments called LASCO, and I never remember exactly what LASCO stands for, but what they are, here's the wide field view, right? And I'll zoom out a little bit here just so we can fit it all on one thing. I'm not quite sure how wide of a field this is, but this little white circle here, that is the yeah, Bobby must be back in. I usually have to turn him way down. There we go. All right. How's it sound now, Bobby?
All right, check 1 2, check 1 2.
Yeah, it actually sounds about the same. Sounds about the same. So a little bit choppy. I mean, not terrible. not really good either.
Okay, so check 1, 2, check 1, 2.
Yeah, that's slightly better. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
there was the hangouts loading.
Gotcha. So this little white circle here, right in the middle, that is the size of the sun, right? So that's about 1/2 of a degree. So, you know, this is from here to here is about a degree. So here's 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees, 5 degrees, 6 degrees, maybe 7 degrees or so inside in radius, right? So that's actually a pretty big chunk of the sky, right? So that's a nice wide field. And what they've done is they've inserted this device. It's called a coronagraph, which you know they've put right in front of the sun to block a lot of the light from the sun. And then with software, what they've done is they've created this blue disk, right? And the reason why they do that is because the coronagraph itself really majorly distorts the image up close here, right? So it's pretty useless data inside of this blue disk, right? There's really not much worth seeing. I mean, it's pretty distorted. I don't think I've ever actually seen one, you know, without this. But this is very obviously, you know, some kind of software fix, right? You know, the data within this disk is just junk, right? But the interesting thing is all this stuff around it, right? This is part of the sun's corona, right? And it's amazing, right? I mean, it's extremely dynamic, constantly changing, pretty amazing, right? So that's the LASCO 3 image. And as you can see, this image was taken about half an hour ago or so. So, I mean, you know, it's pretty up to date. It's pretty nice, right? Then they have a narrower field of view, which is the LASCO C2, which does exactly the same thing. It's a coronagraph. It also blocks the most of the light from the sun. But as you can see now, the disk of the sun is much larger, right? So that's about 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, maybe 4 degrees all the way to the edge here, right? I mean, if you were to draw a circle, right? So maybe a 4 degree radius as opposed to what, like a 14 or 15 degree radius. And again, you know, because of the distortions from the coronagraph, everything inside of this red disk here is pretty much junk, right? But you start seeing the corona here, and it's fabulous, right? There's this big hole here, right, where there's some bright stuff here and some bright stuff here, and a big hole. So, you know, here's the North Pole, here's the South Pole. So really awesome. And they've made little movies out of these things, right? So you can actually go in here and watch a little time sequence. And this, you know, they start several days days ago. And so this will just sort of load, and you can watch this load. And what you'll notice, it's kind of hard to see while it's loading, but you'll notice that these points here, right, seem to be moving slowly left to right. Well, those are stars. Those are background stars, pretty bright. I think LASCO can see down to about 3rd or 4th or 5th magnitude stars. So you know, almost as good as a really dark night, right? But you're also seeing a lot of other stuff. These little streaks. Ooh, there's a big one. Cool. And those are just energetic particles. They could be cosmic rays. They could be protons. They could be, all kinds of things. Helium atoms. Yeah, just a whole bunch of different things they could be. And, of course, this spacecraft is out in space, so it's being absolutely bombarded. SOHO, I don't, you might be able to find out. Is SOHO, and I don't know if anybody knows here, is SOHO in a low Earth orbit? Is it in a, what kind of orbit is it?
I think it's supposed to be in geostationary.
Yeah, well, that means it's in Earth orbit. So let's see, maybe operations? No.
I'll be looking at Wikipedia.
Orbit, here we go. SOHO's halo orbit. SOHO's path towards L1. Oh, okay, so it's at L1, the Sun Earth L1, which is a point between the Earth and the Sun. Cool. Nice. Sweet. So we can actually look at that.
I think the James Webb is going to be a Sun Earth L3, right?
I think it's supposed to be at that's supposed to be at L2, if I remember right. I could be wrong about that. Let's see here.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. L2.
L2? Yeah, that's sort of what I thought. Let's see if I can find a reasonable diagram here. There's only about 1,000 of them. Yeah, so here's the Sun, here's Earth, right? Here's L1, right? So that's a great place to put a sun-observing satellite, right? Because you don't have to contend with the Earth, right? It's always, the sun is always up. It's always there. L2.
I think stereo A is on L5.
I think stereo moves around a little bit, so I'm not quite sure if they're on any kind of stable orbits or not. That's a good question, though, because stereo is another pair of spacecraft. And let's sort of see here. I think they sort of changed their position. So where is stereo? Here we go. So let's see. As of the 2nd of March at 2 hours UTC. So here's Earth. Here, I'll zoom in again. So here's Earth. Here's the Sun. Stereo A is over here, and stereo B is over here. And yeah, I think those positions change from time to time. Definitely not at L5 or L4, right? L1, if we sort of look, where'd that go?
Back in.
Yeah. So L1, come on. So L1 is about maybe a third of the way or a quarter of the way to the sun. Now, I don't think, these orbits are to scale. So L1 is probably just maybe inside the orbit of Venus, right? Or maybe just outside. I'm not exactly sure where. L4 and L5 are way out here, but on our side of the sun, right? And stereo, at least right now, for sure, is sort of on the other side of the sun. But as you can see, they basically track Earth's orbit, right? So as the Earth turns, they are also going around. But from what I can see, stereo A is a little bit inside, stereo B is a little bit outside. So just looking at this, I would think that the orbit of A would be a little faster than the Earth, and the orbit of B would be a little bit slower. So yeah, these positions change, which is cool, right? To have a different view of the sun almost all the time, and having these side views and almost these back views is really, really cool, right? Anyway, so there's the full LASCO C3 movie, and as you can see, it's just sort of, you can see the background stars are moving in here. Now, as I said, oh yeah, there he is. Yeah, just saw the last bit of him here. If you can focus down here, you'll start seeing a little guy moving through. Kind of hard to catch. There he is. Oh yeah. So they skipped a bunch of frames there, which is relatively common. But yeah, there is definitely
just like super fast that could like hit the sun second to none.
Yeah, it's actually unlikely to even make it to the sun, right? It'll probably vaporize you before it gets really, really close. These movies are a little bit hard to see. I wonder if I dare try to make an MPEG movie. Let's see if this thing loads. I don't know if it's going to or not.
Maybe you ran to download it first.
Yeah, I might have to. Because I'd like to be able to stop it.
That's really throw your potato out of the equation.
It is going to mash my potato for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to load or not here. It might be trying to, but...
Welcome back, Patrick.
Patrick, you made it.
Well, I think it's working. I don't know.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Excellent.
Perfect.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
I will stay later, Venus.
Excellent. Well, let's see if I can. Yeah, I don't think that little comet has found its way into LASCO C2 yet. It's still sort of way out here. So
Later, Venus.
Anyway, is Venus leaving the scene here? Yeah. Okay. Well, take care, Venus. We will see you next time. Yeah. Viewing the sun with hydrogen alpha is definitely very, very nice. Yeah, these are all towards the ultraviolet, right? So a completely different view than hydrogen alpha, which is very, very red. That's around 685 nanometers or so. So yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Anything else that we can do here? We've done that. We've done a little bit of stereo. We really haven't looked at any stereo images, but that's okay. That's all right. I think probably what I want to do is, since we didn't get to the beginning of the month calendar of events, I think I definitely want to hit that probably tomorrow. So I think we're coming up on the top of the hour. Why don't we just call it a little bit early? in fact, maybe even call it on time, um, and give this live stream a rest for today, unless anybody's got anything else.
Just one quick thing.
Yeah.
Today in 1927, George Abel was born. He was a astronomer and a skeptic.
Cool. And Abel, that rings a bell. There are galaxy clusters named after him.
He's got a galaxy named after him. He's got an observatory named after him.
Fantastic. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. He did study clusters and was trying to use them for distance measures and quite a few other things.
Very cool. So he was born in 27?
Yes.
Nice. And he was an American?
He was.
Yeah.
He was an American.
Okay. Where
he worked at California Institute of Technology and the Griffith Observatory, and then worked on the Palmer Observatory Sky Survey.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
One of the founders of the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry.
Good. Well, as I say, skepticism is extremely important. It's you got to make sure that you're not cynical, right? You got to make sure that you're not, leaning towards that, and just being skeptical, which I think is a really nice thing. So yeah, very, very cool. Yeah. Well, he was probably then very, very much involved in well, now when was Palomar built? Was Palomar built in the 30s or the 50s? I don't remember.
I don't know either.
Maybe the 30s. So yeah, he might have been too young to be involved in the construction, but yeah, I mean, you say that he was involved in the production of the Palomar Sky Survey.
He worked on the Sky Survey for Palomar.
Wow.
There's a catalog called the Abel Catalog of Galaxy Clusters. That he worked on. He started that. He's got a comet named after him and an asteroid.
Wow, very, very cool. Yeah, the Palomar Sky Survey was the first, almost all sky survey done, and that was used for decades for doing some incredible science, right? Now we have its predecessors, like Pan-STARRS, Gaia, all of those, and so but POS was the first, and they actually photographed most of the northern part of the sky in both red and blue, right? So just this massive effort, and they put it, they were doing photographic plates, these plates about yay big or so, right? And yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. So cool. Abel.
I'd like to say goodnight to Jim, and I think we're about to get out of here, huh?
Yeah, I think we're about ready to wrap it up. So very, very cool. Yeah. Keep those little tidbits of info flowing, Tom. That's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we definitely like to hear about those kinds of things. So many contributions have been made to astronomy. It's just, you know, absolutely incredible the amount of work that's been done. And you know, and this is just one field of science, right? You know, the same could be said for lots and lots of things, you know. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. All right, everybody. Well, I think I'm going to get out of here for now. I'm going to somehow I'm going to stay awake and watch this launch in a few hours, and it should be pretty epic.
I'll be well asleep by then. In fact,
Yeah.
in 5 minutes, I'll be well asleep.
All right. Excellent. Well, it is 3:05 there, so yeah,
is.
it's a little late or a little early. I'm not quite sure. So
Bit of both.
yeah, a bit of both. All right, everybody. Well, take care, and I will see you in a little less than 23 hours from now. So thanks for coming in again. Peace, cheers, and all that. And I will see you on the spin. See you later. Bye.
All the best, Matt. Thank you very much.